everyone, thanks for watching the JB Arts YouTube channel. Today we've got these fancy little plaques that we're doing using flashy vellum pieces and cutting them out, gluing them on, painting them up, and coming out with a fantastic little ornament for around the house. Give as a gift. They're a little fantastic craft. They're fun, they're pretty easy to do, and the results are great. So we start off by cutting out pieces of vellum, and to try and decide how they go, they're kind of see-through, semi-transparent. You could always draw them out with marker. You can see here how Jessica is sort of impressing around the edges to do it. So she's just sort of pushing the paper off the edge, and it's sort of creasing the paper, giving her a good idea where to cut. Now, taking more time, you could always glue the face on and then cut it off after, and that way it's sort of perfect. If you are, experienced with these sort of things, you could always take an X-Acto blade and just sort of trim them up just perfectly along the edges. So to glue our pieces on, we're using gel medium again. We can put it on the front and the back. If you put too much on, you might find a little bit of curling. So most people end up globbing too much on, and then the paper sort of curls up. You can always put something on it to hold it down. You may want to glue one side first, stick it down, and then seal it in with a second layer of glue. That can always help as well. All right, getting right into the gold leaf. So traditional gold leaf is actually sort of pressed really thin sheets of gold. We couldn't afford to do that since those sheets are extremely expensive. These are sort of imitation gold pieces, and you can either smooth it out and get a nice fine finish that's just sort of mirror-like, or you can sort of blob it on like we've got here and get some great texture out of it. I've always loved the texture myself. Now the gold leaf only sticks to the areas that you've put the gel medium to. We call this a sizing. There are sort of other sizings for it, but really the gel medium works quite well. In both cases, you don't want to get any of it on your fingers, often using a paintbrush to sort of apply it. Traditionally, what you would do is actually build up a lot of static electricity on a soft, natural hair brush, and then it picks up the foil and then sets the foil down gently, and go from there. With this one here, I imagine you're going to want to get your hands right in it, get into a big mess. So just sort of take it gently with your fingers and lay it over the top. If it was traditional gold leaf, we'd be a lot more concerned about the waste of this kind of material. But as the imitation gold leaf, we've given you lots. You shouldn't have to worry about it. There's probably enough for a couple of other projects as well. So have fun. Just have fun and have a blast with it. That's what I recommend. Now Jess has decided to do the edging on this one too. That's a little bit more difficult to try and get it into every little piece or every little place. So be mindful of that it's not the easiest thing to do to get right into those edges. In the end, we're going to painting it. Once we get all the gold leaf into all of the edges, we want to make sure that we seal it in, put another coat of gel medium all over it, make sure that it's all stuck down. There's nothing else sort of going to lift off later on, and yeah, it gives it that final finish look that you really want. So here we go. Everything is dry, and now I'm painting the edges just to clean it up a little bit. It also seals all of the paint in. Now the color on this red actually shows up really nice against the gold. It turned out to be a really nice color. A little fact that most of the time when you buy a gold frame or such, they actually paint it red first and then put the gold on top of it. That helps enhance the gold color. Just so you know, gold and red look fantastic together. Painting in around the outside edges is pretty easy, but getting this little bit of a border around all of our letters, that really made the finished product for me. So what I've done is actually sort of painted the outer edge and then put the brush halfway on the front face of the letter. So I'm only using half the bristles, and then the other half was sort of repainting the edge for me as well. And that created a nice little border that went around my letters. To get the center ones, you just press in the brush gently. If you have a flat brush, there's often a thick side and a thin side. So if you turn it from a front face to a side face, as long as your bristles are sort of tucked together with paint, you can get really fine lines between all of your letters. You just have to press gently. The harder you press, the more the bristles want to span out. So just be mindful of that. Just nice and gentle for those parts. Fantastic. Well, we've got a second version of this one. It was painted first, so it's not just sort of applying it to the wood color. This one here, every kit gets a bit of a different color. This one we've got a nice purple, and you can see Jessica on this one here is being a lot more sort of mismatched, if you will. She's putting just a little piece of the vellum on every single letter, and just cutting out a little chunk, if you will. It's going to be matched nicely with the purple and the gold. At the end, we'll seal it all in. It'll look absolutely fantastic. So this is an entirely new one. We've pre-prepped it as a sort of painting it purple. Every kit comes with a color, and that is sort of a nice accenting color. In this case, for our second version, we've painted the entire thing purple. And yeah, now Jessica's decided to sort of put pieces on, cutting out sections, little chunks. That's sort of going to break up the gold with the purple and look absolutely fantastic. I know I've seen the final version. It's really good. We're going to purple border that one as well, like we did on the last video. That's a really nice effect, a really nice look. With these, they could be painted. If you had paints at home, you can add to whatever else you want on these. Furthermore, the vellum that you get, you could totally use for scrapbooking or any other type of collage or decoupage or paintings if you wanted to paint them into your work. So there's a lot of extra pieces that you can use for a lot of other crafts, and hopefully these kind of videos inspire you to take these extra items and really make something else with it. You can see how Jess is still sort of applying the folding over technique of finding where to cut out her pieces. It works quite well for her. Again, you could trace through and find exactly how those pieces go together. Or again, glue it on and cut it after the fact. That one works really well too. All right, the fun part, the gold leaf. So once again, pre-gluing the area that we want it to, you can put it all over the entire area, and then when you peel away the gold leaf, you're only left with the area that wants to stick. Here we're using the brush to sort of massage it out into places. You can see where we're gluing in only sections that we want to be gold leafed. That way some areas are still purple, and then some areas are the finished gold leaf. So gently lay the pieces on top. Try and get it before it dries. I normally suggest that people do one section at a time. However, if you're quick at it, let's say this is Jess's second time doing this activity this week, she's decided that she can just sort of push through and get it all before it dries. Yeah, if you've had experience with that, you can probably do the same thing. If it's your first time, just stick to one piece at one time. The advantage to being able to glue everything at once is then perhaps your fingers aren't all sticky from the first one and then trying to go on to the next letters or washing your hand between each letter. Doing it all at once can save a bit of time, bit of mess. So once all the extra pieces are sort of knocked off or put back on, maybe you missed an area or the glue dried, you can always go back and put a bit more glue on and then set your next piece on. Get it fairly smooth. And then the next step is painting, cleaning it up. There we go. Sorry about this part of the video. We didn't realize that it was a little out of focus when we were doing it. It was in focus for the last one, but the autofocus corrected when we got up really close, and it sort of never re-corrected itself. Luckily, this part of the video is just a very quick one. Maybe you want to leave your edges gold leaf and spend a little bit more time on it. Maybe you want to do your entire letter on the front face vellum and then the outside edges all being gold leaf. That'd be really cool. I think that'd be something really nice to see. Yeah, you could, if you were careful with your paint, you could make that happen. Now this is where I jumped in to just put in a sealer. Seal it all down before I start painting it in. Also, the sealer is a nice gloss, so that can bring out a lot of the color. So you can see where I'm putting the brush sort of halfway on the edge and halfway off. So because the edges are purple, the side of the jolly is purple, it doesn't matter if I get a little bit extra paint there. So that's why I'm just using the side of the letters to, I guess, overpaint. And then the front face of the letters gives me that nice clean border. Well, thank you for watching the JB Arts YouTube channel. This might be the last one before Christmas. So, yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Please be safe, kind to one another, and have yourself a fantastic time. Don't forget to do some art. All right. Thanks.